Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a lovely day. I've managed to pull my entire lower back. But laying down was making it hurt way worse, so sitting up is what we're doing. To be fair, I would have just been bored. Like, that is the whole thing. It's like, oh, you know, you're not feeling well. And I'm bored! Oh my god! I will find something to do, so help me. I'm so happy with this right now. Okay, so we need to go on to the there's towards the bottom, if I recall correctly. Yeah, true. I mean, sometimes you can be in a halfway decent mood because you're like hurting, but doing stuff makes everything a lot better. But good lord, when you're sick, it's just fucking shit. Okay, so we need sheer top arms with this color. Don't you feel it till the break of dawn? I'll follow you to carry on till the break of dawn. I'll follow you to carry on till the break of dawn. And the night is down to fly, the also terrified. Don't you feel that the break of dawn? I'll follow you to carry on till the break of dawn. I'll follow you to carry on. And we've got, okay, chair floor, chair front. That should be this and this. Yes. Away to break of dawn. I'll follow you to carry on to the break of dawn. I'll follow you to carry on to the break of dawn. Let's grow. I think I got cheat codes. Act like I got cheat codes. Act like I got cheat codes. I need this one.
It's strobe.
Hey, Trifonius. Gonna, yeah. All them die. Like a farmer. And the lights and the night. Mind of mine, and it's every defeat. Get around away from me, and the mind, and the mind. And the mind, and the mind of mine. Defeat. You better run away from me. Oh, please tell me. It's gotta be better news than everything that's happening in Canada and the US right now. Oh god, of course they wait till the very last second when they could have fucking figured this out like 10 minutes after the fucking election. Canada is actually usually, I should say usually quite good about forming its minority government and or minority opposition. Like, everybody's willing to fucking sit down and deal because everybody wants the power. If they don't make it, I will be intensely amused, but only because I'm kind of a sucker for dysfunctional governments. Dysfunctional governments doing their best to pretend that they're not dysfunctional. You boys play nice. And you wanna. That one's fine. I'm so tired of the density of people, especially people who fucking know. Like, one presumes that most politicians actually are not like the US, where they're just being hired all willy-nilly. So you should know that taxes are literally just so you don't have to go banging door to door for money for social programs. And people like social programs. They actually like them. And that people who bitch and moan about paying high taxes aren't divesting themselves of the social programs that they also like. So at the end of the day, better education is needed, not lower taxes. I mean, there are limits, but I suspect that Belgium hasn't hit them yet. I had a friend who was, he was a gig worker, so I can understand his initial irritation with taxes. Because in Canada, if you're a gig worker and you make over a certain amount of money, boy oh boy does taxes get fucking complicated, and it's a whole lot of math that you were never thinking you'd ever have to do. So I can understand his irritation. But I had him basically, this guy that I knew from high school, go full libertarian on me, and I'm just like, hey, you're gonna explain to me how things get done in a libertarian government since you support one. Government in quotation marks, because libertarians don't believe in actual organized government. How do things get done? And I had him break every fucking thing down for me, step by step, exactly how things would get paid for. And then he reinvented the government and taxes. And then he lost his fucking mind at me because that isn't what I meant. I'm like, yes, it is what you meant. Our job is to elect a government that actually uses taxes for the things we want them to use the taxes for. And you, like everybody else, want social programs, and you don't want someone banging on your door every 3 minutes asking to help fix a road, or, you know, pay for preschool, or have you know, things like the fire department be funded. Nobody wants someone banging on the door for each individual fucking thing, making you do a whole lot of extra math, and also things potentially never getting funded because nobody thinks they'll need them, even though everybody fucking wants them. Taxes are good, actually. You just need to find a fucking government that's going to spend those tax dollars on something other than enriching themselves. Exactly. How do you pay for sewer maintenance? Everyone's gonna be like, ew, no, gross, that's not my problem, until everybody's sewers are backing up, and then, oh my god, it's a fucking crisis and it costs $3,000 bazillion more than it would have normally. Like, at the end of the day, nobody wants to think about these things. You don't want to talk about them. But that's what the money's supposed to go to! We're so kind of, well, at least in Canada, but especially in the US, everyone's just kind of used to not receiving anything back for their tax dollars spent. And it's like, no, you're supposed to actually get something back. You give the government money so that it spends it on the shit that you want them to spend it on. That's the point of taxes. Not just to make rich people richer, but actually to help you out. You're supposed to benefit because you paid money. Get it? Like, that's how it works. It's supposed to fund the things you want it to fund. And if it's not, you need to find better people who are actually going to do those things. Amazing. I struggling. And I'm not saying any like a transition to a situation where we can trust that our tax dollars are actually being spent correctly will be an easy one, or even potentially a possible one, because I'm too much of a pessimist to actually believe that we could actually come together and kick the shit out of the government, potentially not literally, and get them to actually give us the shit we want for the money we've spent on them. But at the same time, taxes aren't bad if you can find a government willing to not enrich themselves with your taxes, somehow. Oh yeah, I've got no fucking voice. Actually, someone would be like, oh no, your voice sounds great right now. And I'm like, oh honey, I'm still squeaking and cracking. Like, normally my voice is fine. I don't sound like a bitter old lady. Well, I do, but at least my voice isn't cracking. Yeah, I've had COVID for the past 2 weeks. It's been absolute balls. Everybody in my house is sick right now. Yeah, I found out while I was looking up symptoms and getting a verification that that's indeed what we had, that apparently you're supposed to be getting a booster for COVID every year, like the flu shot. So we just got to have full-fledged COVID, because apparently we're no longer immune to it, because we haven't had it for a couple of years. Awesome! Go get your COVID shots, people! I mean, I am too, but our triggering event was going to Christmas with the family. Just 2 weeks after that is when it all started kicking in. I actually noticed I lost my sense of smell first. It's starting to come back now, which is nice. Well, actually, it's not nice, because my room is full of things that should have been removed that I didn't remove because I was feeling sick. I was like, oh my god, it's almost exactly 2 weeks after Christmas that I'm losing my sense of smell. And I was like, well, I'm not coughing yet. So maybe I'm just imagining it. 3 days later, everybody in my household is coughing and just dying. And I'm like, oh, you know, no, that is definitely what it is. Yeah, I literally leave my house twice a year if I can help it. once for Easter, and once for Christmas. And I got nailed. Well, that's normal. When you get a shot, you're basically doing a training montage for your immune system. So your immune system will make you have aches and pains. It will make you feel tired. It will make you potentially have like dry mouth or cough or slightly runny nose because your entire immune system's going, oh bitch, we gotta fucking fight. But it's way shorter than a normal illness, and you will then be immune from whatever it is, making you way more sick than that. Yeah, it's a deactivated virus. It's a punching bag. Oh my god. So the funniest thing in the whole world is people who talk about time travel and being like, so if I travel back in time, I'm just like, how far back in time are we talking about? How far back? Are we talking far enough back that smallpox exists? How old are you? Are you under the age of 50? You aren't immune to that shit. In fact, probably if you're over the age of 50, you definitely aren't immune to that shit because you've never had a shot for it. Do you know how to make the inoculation for smallpox to keep yourself from dying to it? If you don't, you're not going back in time before smallpox, or you're going to die of smallpox. Because smallpox in kids will probably kill them. Smallpox in adults absolutely will kill them. So, yeah, that's a whole fucking thing you gotta think about if you're gonna go back in time. Oh yeah, another question that I really like when people are talking about time travel. They're like, okay, if you went back in time, how would you prove it to people? And I'm like, I know how to make the inoculation for smallpox. I would cure smallpox before the guy who cured smallpox cured smallpox. And then I'd be burned at the stake for being a witch, probably. Because, you know, tits and all that. Yep. The common cold is probably not so nice, but COVID would probably kill everybody. Gotta get a clean bill of health before you go back in time. But even more so, you need to be fully vaccinated against all the shit that we actually have dealt with. Like kids nowadays, they like the chicken pox isn't even really a big thing anymore. Like they've figured out that you can vaccinate against it. So where, you know, millennials who went to chicken pox parties as kids are all going to end up with shingles in real short order. Everyone in little cousin's generation, which is generation, well, I guess he's like a cusp of Gen Alpha and a Zoomer, but like Gen Zs, a lot of them have had the chickenpox vaccine. They will never get shingles. That's fucking amazing, you know? You need to find people who work with cows who have had cowpox. You need to find somebody who's got an active case of cowpox, and you need to rub a blanket all over them, ideally made of wool, and then you need to rub yourself all over and catch the cowpox. Then you need to cure everybody in a, you know, extremely large radius by making sure every single one of them catches the cowpox. That's the original inoculation against smallpox. Because basically, the guy who made the observation went, there's a certain group of people who never seem to catch smallpox. Like he was a doctor who was just doing observations of a community, and the people who weren't catching it were the people who slept with cows, slept in barns with cows. Like they worked on farms, but they slept specifically in barns with cows. And he realized that their proximity to cattle was making them catch cowpox at a young age, and that was fully making them immune to smallpox, and they never would catch smallpox. Yeah, it was pus sharing. It was gross, but it works. Admittedly, that, along with the eventual smallpox vaccine, did have a decent risk of making you incredibly sick and potentially killing you anyway. But it was better than catching smallpox that absolutely had a much higher risk of killing you. And that's the reason why nobody gets vaccinated against smallpox. Aside from the fact that we've beaten it, it doesn't seem to exist in the population anymore as of the 60s, so they finally discontinued the program of vaccinating people against it. Right? He even tested on his own children. He was just like, okay, well, we know that when people come in contact with each other's pustules from smallpox, that they'll catch it. So we're just gonna rub gross goop from this person who's really sick with cowpox on this child who hasn't gotten sick yet, and see what happens from there. Ew, so gross. But it worked. And while for the most part I'm not a big fan of the ends justify the means, in the case of smallpox, I'll allow it. Yep. The thing is, I don't need to test because I would know it works. Doctoring back in the day was, well, incredibly unethical. Like, incredibly unethical. Also, hi Kiki. This is usually the kinds of conversations we have during afternoon streams. Just a slightly different crowd comes in. Older folks, actually, to be fair. No, normal conversations are incredibly boring. I've studied them most of my life. Down with neurotypical conversations. Fuck that shit. There is some semi-potential good news. So we had to do an uncomfortable phone call, what with the government, but apparently we've been adjudicated. And I'm fairly good at reading tone, survival mechanism, whatnot. So my official opinion, and by my I mean like all of our official opinion, is we quite likely actually are going to get our pension, which is nice. Now that's based on a cold read of somebody who was telling us repeatedly they weren't allowed to tell us any details, so that we would have to wait 2 weeks to make sure that we got our letter in the mail and blah 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 blah. But instead of there's two ways the conversation can go from there. One is to explain to the person what the reapplication process is like, and the other is to explain how and when you'll be getting your checks. Right? So without saying anything and confirming anything, she was pretty adamant about telling us exactly how we were going to get our checks, which is really nice. True. Either that or she's an incredible tease, and that's just really fucking mean, but I mean, 50-50. It's still 50-50, but I'm feeling slightly hopeful. Like, maybe 51-49. We try not to rely too much on cold reading, to be fair. It's really weird having a particular set of skills that allow you to do incredible harm, because you always second guess everything. Like my brother had the exact same moral quandaries when he got into sales, because he realized so quickly that all the skills he learned, same way I did, lots of trauma growing up, trying to keep a very mean person from hurting you, when applied to the real world, makes it incredibly easy to dupe people, to scam people, to tell people what they need to hear so that they do things that you want. And both he and I were very, very quickly realized just how wrong that was. And neither of us really took advantage of it because it just felt so fucking wrong. Which is why oftentimes I don't know what to say to people when they're like being kind to us, because I don't know how to say thank you without it feeling like I'm being manipulative. Or worrying that because someone's done something kind, that I've been manipulative. Because then I'm like, I can't, like, you've done something kind for me. I may have said something or done something or alluded to something, and I've caused you to do something kind for me, and not only do I not deserve it, because I can't believe I deserve any good things, but the other half of it is I've done something, like I've betrayed a friend by making that friend do something kind for me, and I feel incredibly guilty. And it's like, learning to overcome that has been a lifelong struggle. Where the heck is chair floor? I know that's the name of the layer. There you are! Hello! This is why naming layers naming layers appropriately is such a fucking time saver when you're working on art. Highly recommended if you're trying to get into doing digital art for the first time. Name your layers as accurately as you can. For the love of all that is holy, name them all. Name every single one of them. Even if you're like, well, I'll know that this is the shade. No, you won't. You'll forget. You will never remember, especially when you just start tacking layers on top of layers on top of layers. You will forget what the fuck you name things if you don't name them clearly. Yeah, my cousin's really like that. Our family's so dysfunctional. I don't have trouble asking for help necessarily. I just feel like I've committed a crime by doing it. So I side, I front. Hold on. Are you not I front? There you are. He's shaded.
I was a lonely silhouette, needed somebody to show the way. Yeah, I was a heartbeat with no sound till you came around. Yeah, you showed me colors, light in the darkness. You were the only thing.
Oh, I see what the problem is. That's why it's not working, because that's linked to that, not this. There we go. Okay, so we want chair floor. What? But what's up? What's up, Earl? See, this is why I leave it up, because I figure someone will win it eventually. How am I feeling now? Well, I've got my voice back. I'm coughing a whole lot less. Everybody in the house is still coughing. They're at one rate or another. Had a couple of really rough days the past week. Only streamed like once for most of the past week too. Thank you for the hydrate.
You know I don't play right. Just give me the word.
And we'll do this.
You know I don't play right. Don't give me this.
We'll give a couple freebies up in this shit.
You know I don't play right. I'll put up a good fight. Just give me the word. You know I don't play right.
Here plays a sound.
I'm gonna get back when I feel like.
Oh wow, that's not okay. That's not okay at all. Hopefully you found a good place. Well, definitely kick your feet up and take all the rest you need, Arl. We didn't even realize. We noticed that you were missing, but I mean, there is always the possibility that, you know, because we were streaming at night, a little bit later at night, because we kept sleeping in, that you were just sleeping.
You know I don't play right. Just give me the word. You know I don't play right. Don't give me this. I'm gonna get back when I feel like. You know I don't play right. I'll put up a good fight. Just give me the word. You know I don't play right. You know I don't play right. Don't give me this. I'm gonna get back when I feel like. Don't give me this. Uh-huh, uh-huh. You know I don't play right. I'll put up a good fight. Just give me the word.
Sorry, was doing a quick bingo update. Now we are now on chair floor. Okay.
I'm gonna get back when I feel like.
I think we're just gonna leave that layer there. Okay, so we want decoration. Right. It was already planned. Landlords are selling the old place we'd arranged for me to move to their other place. That was okay. Oh, I figured I needed 5 days sooner. They really wanted to get it on Market Fest, so why not moving in a day and a half? Ooh, they were cool to haul the second half of my stuff for you. So, I mean, that is extremely kind. Like, you got your shit all packed up and they managed to they helped you out getting to the new place is excellent. But holy shit. I've done quick moves like that. Like, I can't do them anymore. Oh my god. Probably pure adrenaline. It's always nice when you find the rare kind landlord. I've had two really good landlords.
think you ever really knew me. I have run quite a distance, so in some ways I'm truly different. In some way I kept my soul. I got time if you want me to freeze up. I'm new now, I found the flow. I'ma need you to keep up, not slowing down anymore. What you want, don't ever call me a sidekick. You know what I want, girl, I'm trying to make you my chick. Hey yo, excuse me, please don't confuse me. Liquid in my cup, I keep it juicy, juicy.
I used to be like that way back then. I was way back then. I had braids back then. Red bomb on the hip. In case the ops pull up, my homie Tabby always had the hook up. You know
What you want, don't ever call me a sidekick. You know what I want, girl, I'm trying to make you my chick. Hey yo, excuse me, please don't confuse me. Liquid in my cup, I keep it juicy, juicy.
I used to be like that way back then. I was way back then. I had braids back then. Red bomb on the hip. In case the ops pull up, my homie Tabby always had the hook up. You know
I've been looking, finding all what is inside. I'm taking in all the lights. Oh, I'm not used to this. I'm not looking back, I'm not clear. And if you love me, you let me fly. When I see you dancing, I know you're a 10. It's some kind of magic. We both know it right away. I can
Uzi.
hear the party, don't want it to end. Getting real
I
ecstatic.
never really notice how much I hold my breath till I get sick, and that it becomes like a detriment, and I'm like, why am I having so much trouble? I'm like, oh yeah, I continuously hold my breath while I'm doing stuff. Breathe, bitch, breathe!
I feel this vibe goes from my heart right to my fingertips. My fingertips. Oh, I need you to
Hydrate, you bastard! Hydrate!
me. Oh, right away. I feel
That too.
this vibe goes from my heart right to my fingertips. My fingertips. Oh, I need you to tell me now how
Mushy, 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 mushy.
oh, right away.
Eh? That was perfect. Cheers. and confirm. Your ideas are always excellent and much fun to draw. Slime puddle. This is the Bobs and Pylota, both part of the slime puddle. Hey.
I'll be there when the lights don't shine. I'll be there in the sleepless nights.
We just vibing. We just vibing.
Feel alright. I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there when the lights don't shine. I'll be there in the sleepless nights. I'll be there, make you feel
I think we're gonna save here. Bobs are looking good. Sorry, I'm planning out more stuff. It's one of those things where like part of doing art is processing what you've done and what steps you need to do next. I think I'm happy with that there.